So hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. If this coffee mug and this look are familiar, it's because I've already actually tasted my teas, and this is my favorite coffee mug, and I'm doing a couple different videos all at one time, getting them out of the way. So today's tea is our mountain tea from one of my Sips by boxes, mixed in with a vanilla nut cream from Stash, and I already know that I like it. But you know, we gotta get a taste for it anyway. And it is actually strengthening up, and I'm getting a bit more of that vanilla right now, so it's really good. A nice light tea for a day that's kind of overcast and icky. We're gonna be getting a lot of those now. But anyway, so today's video is about some Sample Queen stuff. Yes, I know, I'm not wearing my Sample Queen crown, but that's okay. I'll wear it next time, I promise. But let's go ahead and get started with these. I've got a couple of masks. I've got one item in here that was part of a set. I only have one of the little envelopes from the foil packs, but both foil packs look the same. So anyway, so getting started, I'm going to start with these Pure Clay masks from L'Oreal. I had tried a sample of their lemon yuzu, and I had really liked it. We're going to start with the red algae. Yes, the red algae. This is very thick. It's an orangey brown color. It's very similar to the yuzu in the fact that it has like little particles in it. I don't know if I can try to get some of this without getting it under my nails to show you. I don't know if I got any particles. The particles are small. They're not very big. Okay, I don't know if you can see them in there. You can see a few. Just right in here. You can see a few. You see those little bumps. So there's little particles in it, which is the way the yuzu is. And I liked it in the yuzu because it helped clean up some of my... some of those little teeny tiny hard pimples that you can get sometimes. I forget what they're called. They have a specific name. Anyway, this does a similar thing as that does. Has a similar application removal. Since it doesn't have citrus in it, which the yuzu does, I actually kept this on for the full, 15 minutes, I think? 10 or 15 minutes. With citrusy things like lemon or orange in it, I have found that my skin is very sensitive to that and doesn't like it, so I try to avoid it. That said, I probably would get the yuzu mask again. We just couldn't find it, which is one of the reasons why we picked up this. The particles are a bit more sharp. They're about the same size as the ones in the yuzu. They just seemed a little bit more abrasive. Not uncomfortable, but definitely more there. Let's put it that way. My pores look good. My skin felt smooth when it was done. My little area was better. There was some stinging when I used my Radiance pad afterwards, so I definitely need to be a little more cautious when I rinse it off to avoid cutting the skin or causing too much abrasions. But there was no discoloration, and other than that, my skin reacted very similar as it did to the yuzu, in which case it was very soft, very smooth. The pore issues were taken care of. Since the citrus risks irritating my skin, I think I'm more inclined to buy and use this one again. I have actually been enjoying both of these particular clay masks. I do recommend them. But if you have a sensitivity, or if you find exfoliators that have, granules in them irritating, this would not be the mask for you. But I really enjoy it. I do try to use it once a week, give or take, and I would indeed buy it again. So the second L'Oreal mask I got was the charcoal clay mask. I've been looking for a replacement for my Origins mask, not because I dislike the Origins mask. I actually really, really like my Origins mask. It's just that it costs between $30, $35, $37, something like that for a full size. I do believe getting two about the same amount in terms of ounces, 2 of these, give or take. Costs about $8 less than the Origins mask, and because you get the smaller, you can get smaller amounts at a time, it's actually much easier for me to afford right now. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. This is thick like the Origins mask, but not quite, which sounds odd. The Origins mask comes out of a tube, and so when you put it out of the tube, it kind of reminds me of a thick toothpaste, kind of. It smooths out better, and you don't use quite as much as you would assume you would use with something that's the consistency of a thick toothpaste. This one is much creamier, and I can take directly out of the jar. In terms of being able of how much I use, I actually use less of this because I can just dip my masking brush in here and pick up exactly what I need instead of having to try to judge with squeezing out the tube. It's kind of creamy. It does feel kind of thick when it goes on. It doesn't thin out as much as the Origins mask when I lay it over my skin. However, I do end up using less of it because, like I said, I can just dip my brush into it. It dries down. It tightens up a little bit. The burn you sometimes get from charcoal clay masks isn't as strong with this one as with the Origins or some of the others that I've tried. And it takes, once it dries down, it does take a little bit more effort to clean off. I don't know, it's just like it's almost like you did put mud on your face or something like that. It's got that thick, dry, hard consistency to a degree. It's not uncomfortable taking it off. It just takes a little bit more effort. You just need to wipe down a little bit more. My skin after I wear this, after I use this, yes, I wear this all day. My skin after I use this is pretty cool. It's really amazing. It's very soft and smooth, and my pores look great. I think this will be the best replacement for my Origins. I was actually really impressed from the get-go with this one. My Radiance pad did come up a touch gray, but I do believe that some of that is because of having to make a little more effort to get it all off. But I'm not holding that against it because honestly, when I use any kind of pore clearer, clay mask, charcoal mask, anything like that, my Radiance pads come up at least a little bit discolored. So I honestly think that whatever was on my Radiance pad was leftover mask. So I really do think it's going to be a very good replacement for my Origins mask, and I am planning on purchasing it again when I need to. Next, I got this little Cetaphil Hydrating Eye Gel Cream in my Walmart box. I love this stuff. I really want to get a box of it. It has been hard to find in my Walmarts, however. We have a little marketplace Walmart that didn't have it. In our larger Walmart, I've been in there 2 or 3 times. I finally saw it once. I didn't pick it up at the time because this is about $13 and it was a bit above my budget. We've got other things we're dealing with, and I have other eye creams. This eye cream takes very little. This little packet lasted me about 2 weeks, morning and night use. So it doesn't take very much. It smooths on very nicely. It absorbs quickly. It is a very emollient cream. I didn't actually really see anything like a brightening effect. I didn't see anything like reducing my under eye circles. But those things I figure I can always take care of with makeup when my eyes are cooperating, which they didn't today. But I really love the how moisturizing this is. It definitely helped with the under eye lines and texture that I have, actually quite significantly. So I really love this, and I really want to buy it. At this point, I'm probably going to have to get it off Amazon. Thank you, Shadow. I'm probably going to have to get it off Amazon because it does seem to be hard to come by in my actual Walmarts. But yes, highly recommend. if you're not looking for something that's going to brighten or take care of discoloration, if you're just looking for something that's going to be very moisturizing, this is amazing. I really, really like it, and I want more of it. So the next thing also, I believe, came from my Walmart box, and that is the SooAE Black Charcoal Bubble Sheet Masks. Now, first of all, we all know how I feel about sheet masks. This was so odd. This was this ended up being a slick, sudsy mess to apply. You can feel the bubbles working on the skin, which I actually enjoyed. It wasn't as cold and icky feeling as most sheet masks are to me. Despite the fact that it was kind of slippery in terms of application. As it sits on your face, the amount of bubble increases, so you end up looking like you got a cloud on your face to some degree. But what it felt like was soap. You're supposed to rub the remaining bubbles in. They don't rub in. And then rinse. It feels like a thick and creamy soap when rubbing in. My skin did feel soft and smooth, but a bit dry. It also may have irritated it a bit. It definitely felt more sensitive when applying my other products. It's an interesting mask. I wouldn't buy it again. It just felt like soap, really. It says oxygenating mask for dull, tired skin. I don't think it really did much for me. Like I said, it made my skin kind of soft and smooth, but it was dry, and I think it also ended up making my skin feel really sensitive. It has not changed my mind about sheet masks, even though it wasn't slimy, icky, ooh. So, what can I say? I think it would take a miracle for me to end up liking a sheet mask. All right, so this next one I've actually got a lot to say about. This is from VictoriaLand Beauty. They want you to go naked with them. This is their Skin Loving Elixir. It's an oil. It smells amazing. This reminds me a lot of they send you 2 bottles in this little sample pack, and it reminds me a lot of my Moroccan oil. This one doesn't want to open. Come on. Why are you being difficult? I have one in the bathroom already. Yeah. It smells more like a more perfumey version of my Moroccan oil, hair oil, to be honest. Yeah, this one's more on the spicy side. This one's more on the perfumey side, but they're both very similar in how they smell. 3 drops. The directions say to use 3 drops. 3 drops were definitely a bit much for me. The skin felt reasonably smooth after application. It does take a while to absorb. I have since gone down to 2 drops, which seems to absorb faster and still gives me a nice, smooth, soft skin. I used it in conjunction with my vitamin E mask and my moisturizer. I did not use this alone. My skin did feel softer with the oil and not greasy, even on my nose, which is where I worry about the most. The skin felt good in the morning, only a little oily in the tea, not a lot. So I've been using this for about a week, maybe a little longer. I'm still using it. I have the 2nd bottle still. I'm probably going to give this bottle to my daughter, I'm thinking, because I am not actually seeing any of the results that they were talking about. There's nothing I really can attribute to except maybe that I'm having more pimples that are harder to get rid of. And I don't even know if that's from the oil, to be honest with you. It could be something else going on. Our weather is changing. The seasons are changing. So there are other things going on that could be dealing with that. And of course, I'm still considered menopausal. I'm postmenopausal, somewhere in there. God knows. Anyway, and they were more difficult to get rid of, though, when I did get those pimples. Really not sure, but not really seeing anything amazing. It's supposed to be affirming. I'm not seeing any firming. And while it does leave a nice sheen, my usual skincare gives me a nice finish anyway. And feel to my skin without it. As much as I like the scent, it's not something I would buy just for the scent. It's probably pretty pricey for that. It's a nice oil if you're into oils. It smells good. It does moisturize. It does give you kind of a sheen, but I'm not seeing anything that would encourage me to actually buy it and continue to add the extra step to my skincare regimen once the one I have is gone, or if I decide to use both. I haven't decided yet. The biggest thing about this that I actually really enjoyed was the smell. So if you want to buy it as a perfume, that's great. It's supposed to be a skincare product. But I'm not, like, it's supposed, like I said, it's supposed to be firming and all this other stuff, and I just didn't see that. So I don't buy skincare that doesn't do what it says it's going to do, so I probably wouldn't buy this for that, and I wouldn't recommend it because it's not going to do what it says it's supposed to do. So, and I haven't looked up the price, but I suspect it's pretty pricey because, you know, yeah. The last two items, I'm just going to show the one little, they came in, it's the Bare Minerals Ageless Genius. This packet is for the firming and wrinkle smoothing eye cream. I also got their firming and wrinkle smoothing serum. The serum was very loose and pale, a pale yellowish cream. From what I've seen on when I reviewed this on Influencer, the color was a bit different in the jar that they send you than what I had. It had a almost minty scent that was actually very pleasant. It spread on my face easily, but left my skin feeling kind of tacky, although with some softness. It didn't really see any changes in my skin, and not inclined to buy more for long-term use. Would help. These little packets don't really give you enough to really fully test something. You really need something that's going to last a while. This one lasted a while because, you know, it's an eye cream. You don't use a lot anyway. This as an eye cream, I believe, did last a little bit longer. But when you're doing serums and stuff, you need at least a week to see if it's going to do anything. So I really didn't see anything from the serum, and I wouldn't purchase it to see if I would. Bare Minerals is kind of a up there brand for me, so probably not anything I would pick up. My Klairs freshly juiced vitamin E mask, which I actually use as a serum, seems to have done more for my skin in less time, really. As you all recall, over the summer I've had problems with my under eyes. It helped finish taking care of that. It leaves my skin soft. Trust me, the Klairs freshly juiced. Very, very good. So I wouldn't buy the serum. The eye cream is a bit on the thick and heavy side. It's not as emollient as some others, like the Cetaphil. I didn't notice it doing much for my eyes. If anything, my shadows seem to start to come back. Don't really dislike it, but don't really like it either. So it's kind of meh. It's not anything not anything I would spend the money on, especially since it's a high-end brand. So yeah, the Bare Minerals and the oil, no. The mask, no. Somebody else might enjoy this mask, but if you enjoy sheet masks, you might enjoy this mask. It's not for me. So out of all of these, I'm going to keep purchasing the L'Oreal masks, and I want to get some of the Cetaphil. So I also want to try some of their moisturizer and their face cleanser. If I can save even $10 on the stuff I buy, then that would be great. And I am not going to be purchasing the Pacifica again. That's either been explained already or will be explained soonish. So still looking for stuff that I can get at a more affordable price for my budget. So that is it for this week, this sample queen. I hope this has helped, despite the fact that I've been fumbling along like an idiot. And I hope you enjoy what you've seen and that you will come back again. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. And if you are subscribed, hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload again. If you're already part of my notification squad, you may want to check your bell. Still having problems. And if you don't subscribe, I still hope we will see you again. And when we do see you again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Okay, it's cooling off, so it's not tasting as good as it did. But I'm still getting the flavors. Not bad, just not a tea I would continue to have cold. Anyway, you all have a great evening. Bye.